New project in 69 Mercury Cougar.
All it takes is one job, oh yeah. All it takes is one job, and everything is gonna be okay.
This Cougar here, born in 1969, has a 351 in it, automatic trans. The vacuum motor for the flip around headlights has been switched to an electric. Basically stock engine, AC car with aftermarket AC on it now for more reliability and more comfort. Custom painted bezel, custom mounted gauges. I did it steering column, painless wiring. What else? These beautiful, I think they called them the Magnum wheels originally, or the Mag, not the Mag, I think they called them the Magnum. It has a sequential taillights factory, so it went doot doot doot, and that was on these cars and the GT350 500 Mustangs. This one is upgraded to a digital unit. I just got done redoing all the wiring on that. We're going to be painting it a dark green here. Original color. Bodywork has been roughed out. It was on a rotisserie, and about 18-20 years ago or so I did the metal work on it. He's been working on it, and it's just his personal project, you know. And so he's been really meticulous and got it to a good point here. And he brought it in to have me clean up some of the electrical and stuff, and I think he got excited about the progress and is now having me finish the body work and paint it. So it'll be around for a minute. You're going to see it get at least to painted, and then it'll go back to him and he'll finish putting it together, putting the black vinyl top back on it, putting the black interior back in it. He has some custom seats and stuff. But yeah, neat car, great customer. Right now we're going to take this door off and we're going to replace some pin bushings. The door isn't aligning right, and I've had to waller out some holes to get some more adjustment out of it. For whatever reason, I don't ask it why, I just do it. And then, but that before we really get too technical with it, we need to replace this lower pin bushings because it is very loose on the pin. So first thing on this car, we're going to unbolt the door. We got 1/2-inch bolts. We got 3 on the bottom, 2 on the top. A ratchet that's very handy for these kind of areas, doors, is these swivel-headed ratchets. I had a snap-on one and probably left it in a door somewhere along the way. This is a Craftsman. I got it at Lowe's. I think maybe Ace Hardware. At any rate, wherever you got Craftsman, but it can kind of lean in and you can still get your hand in there. If it was a normal ratchet, you know, it'd kind of stick out straight like that. Might be hitting the door frame or something like that. So this is a nice little guy to be able to get these guys out. Luckily, these ones the threads feel extremely good, which is kind of rare on these. But we already have changed bolts in these. These are just some grade 8s. If it has a glass and all that in it, most definitely do not try to just pull this sucker off. Have a jack underneath it with a piece of 2x4 on top, kind of holding it up. And even at that rate, it's going to be heavy. So unless if it's an unloaded door, then don't be trying to just one-hand this jobber like me. Some doors can be extremely heavy. I think the heaviest ones I ever was around was the 80s T-Birds, and the Lincolns of that body style just had a gnarly heavy door. But as you can see, you're not going to be able to align the door with a hinge like this. What I'm doing when I'm trying to pull this door in a little more is is just pushing on this pin on the one side, but you're not going to get an accurate way. So this pin is just kind of barely hanging in there. So let's check it out. The customer got us out of the help section. Help actually has some decent stuff. Normally I would not go to Doorman for my pin bushings. Normally I'd try to get them from somebody that, like, if you can, from the dealership on whatever you're working on. If not, something that was specifically made for what you have. This is an assortment of different sizes, and I kind of doubt these are going to work, but we'll give it a try. Alright, so you're going to get a hammer. Some of these pins are going to be really pressed in there because they have, what you can see here at the top, they have these knurls. These knurls are meant to hold it from spinning, hold it down in this thing, the hinge, tightly. Since this one is loose and not really working right, it shouldn't be too hard to pull out. But some of them you'll have to get an air chisel on here with your point to pop that sucker out. It can be very difficult. You want to get as much room here as you can. That's why we removed the door. Like on some of the OBS Chevys they really wore them out quickly, and since they had that big harness and you didn't really want to rip down your whole door, what I would use is a jack and somebody usually holding that door, or some shops actually have a door holding jack, so you can separate it and you can bring the door away a little ways, and so you can do this. Real pain in the butt, but you can't be tearing down whole doors all the time for a pin and bushing. So whatever your case may be, we'll just kind of show you here. Let's get this pin out of here, and it looks like I might need to use a punch chisel. Alright, got a punch chisel. Didn't take much. There's our pin. You want to inspect it to make sure it doesn't have any large ridges on it where the bushing was riding. This looks like it's been replaced. And there's our upper hinge piece. Make sure you keep track of how it's orchestrated. Probably not too many ways to mess it up. The bushings here, you can see, are these copper washers, and you can see how this one's kind of shaking around in here. That's not the way that's supposed to work. These are supposed to be very tight in the hinge. You shouldn't be able to be pushing them out very easily. So we're going to pull these out and see if we can't get some that fit a little better. Okay, so there's our bushing. This one has a little bit of damage from installation, which will happen. What you want to avoid is chipping the corners off like this. Sometimes the hinge will actually ride on the edge of that bushing. It's supposed to, this is supposed to be its kind of lubrication or whatever. But sometimes these can get so wallered out, which it looks like this top one might be a little bit, where the pin will wear through this brass or copper bushing and actually start digging into the hinges. It happens a lot, and if it's bad enough, you need to be replacing your hinge. So I got the door back on and aligned, and I don't know if this door has ever been aligned right, because I had to waller out the hinge, and then I had to actually grind the hinge back because it was hitting the inside of the door here on the lower bolt. But proof is in the pudding.
All it takes is one job. One job, oh yeah.